Hi boys and girls, welcome back to Miss Katie's Corner. For this episode, I wanted to do another scavenger hunt because I received some feedback from last week's scavenger hunt that we did with shapes, and I heard that some of you really enjoyed it. So last week's scavenger hunt was indoors, right? Because the weather wasn't all that great. So we did in your kitchen, in your bathroom, in your living room, in your bedroom, and you found different shapes. This week, what I want to do is a nature scavenger hunt. So I want to get us outside and looking for different things in nature. And this one is going to be a little bit different from last week's. We're not talking about shapes. This week, we're talking about the 5 senses we have. So what we're going to do is I'm going to flip my camera so you can see the worksheet for the scavenger hunt. And I'm going to put a link to this in the morning memo. So if you would like to print out this scavenger hunt sheet, you are able to, or if you just want to look along, that's fine as well. So I'm going to show you my screen and we'll go through the scavenger hunt and just talk about things that you should be looking for when you're outside. And if you can't get outside for whatever reason, then you can watch this video and save this for a day that you can't get outside. Okay, let's get started. Okay, boys and girls. So this is the scavenger sheet for our nature walk. So we are going to be using our 5 senses. And let's go over what our 5 senses are. We have our sight or seeing. We have hearing, smell, touch, and taste. Those are our 5 senses. Now, for this nature walk, there's one sense that we're not going to be using. Take a moment to think about which sense you think is not appropriate to use. Right. We are not going to be using taste. If I was doing a scavenger hunt in the kitchen, trying different types of foods, I would absolutely use taste. However, for this nature walk, we're not going to be using our taste sense. All right, so in this column, we have our objects that we're going to find. Tree, rock, bird, and then there's a blank one below. Let's start with the tree and let's go through it together. Now, if you happen to actually do this activity and go outside, you're probably going to see trees that do not look like this one right here. And why is that? Right, because the trees that we have outside right now don't have these beautiful big leaves on them yet. It's still springtime, and so the leaves are still waiting to come in. However, for this exercise, I'm going to use this tree and describe it with my 4 senses, not my 5. All right, sight or seeing. In this box right here, I would write green leaves, brown trunk, long branches. Maybe there is a bird in the tree. I would write all of those things that I found in this box right here for sight. The next one, hearing. Let's think about, what do you hear when you're outside and you see a tree and perhaps the wind is blowing? Yes, you hear the leaves rustling. You can hear the branches moving past each other and scraping each other sometimes. What else can you hear? Yeah, mostly it's going to be the leaves and the branches. but maybe you hear something else. Maybe there's a bird in the tree. Absolutely. Our next sense is smell. What if you went up to that tree? And if you do this nature walk, you'll go up to the tree and you smell it. What would you smell? Yes, it probably smells something like dirt. When you go up to the bark on the tree and you take a big inhale, probably it's an earthy smell, right? So describe what you smell. Maybe you have a tree in your yard that smells different. Maybe you have a birch tree. Birch trees they smell a lot different than a pine tree or an oak tree. Our next sense and our final sense that we're going to use is touch. What can you describe when you touch the tree? Is it smooth? If you pick a birch tree, it will be. But if you pick a pine tree or an oak tree and you're touching the bark, it probably won't be smooth. So you're going to be using your 5 senses in finding and hunting for these objects in this column. So we did the first object together, but I want you to go outside and find your own tree that's special in your yard that you can talk about and write what you found using your 4 senses of sight, hearing, smell, and touch. Then, once you have described a tree, you're going to go on and find a rock. Now, this could be a little rock or this could be a huge rock. It's up to you. And then you're going to go through and use your 4 senses and write down what you found in these boxes. And then this is a tricky one, a bird. Why is it different from the rock and the tree? Right, because it's a living animal. So a rock is not alive. A tree technically is alive, but it's not an animal. A bird is breathing and moving constantly, right? So this is a bonus, right? If you can find a bird and describe it using some of your senses. Now, which of your senses would you actually be able to use? Definitely your sight and definitely your hearing. But boys and girls, you're not going to be able to smell it, touch it, or taste it. Birds are very quick, and they're also part of nature, and we want to respect that. And so we should never approach a bird in its habitat. So you would fill in the sight box and the hearing box. Now, you might ask, Miss Katie, why is this last row completely blank? So this is something that you choose. I want you to go out and see, maybe you find something like a special bush that's in your yard that you want to describe using your 4 senses. It might be something completely different. Maybe it's another animal. This one is completely up to you. So I hope that you enjoyed listening to this video and that you've got some really great ideas and you're ready to either go outside now or save this maybe for a weekend when it's really nice out to go and do this with a sibling or a parent or guardian. I think that everybody's getting so good at using their describing words or their adjectives that these boxes are going to be filled with such great things. So, as always, I would love if you want to share it with me. You can send it to Mrs. Fraser's email and she can forward it to me. Or if you have my email, you can send it to me as well. All right, great work today. Well, boys and girls, that's all I have for today. I hope that you enjoyed this video and I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye for now.